Conservatives? Well, they told me I have 7 minutes to talk about the failures of this president on foreign policy. So that's why I ran out. We all know they've managed to do more damage to our reputation around the world in 1 year than any other president in history. I served as an Army lieutenant under Jimmy Carter. We thought that was as bad as it could get, but it can get worse. In just 1 year, whether you go to the Pacific, or you go to the Atlantic, or you go to the Middle East. Now, just so you know, Antarctica is still safe, apparently. The Russians have not expanded there, even though they have a base. But everywhere else, our enemies have tested this president and found him to be weak. Now, I could use this 7 minutes for a lot of things, but I think we'll just keep it simple. The title of this segment is The Moron in Chief. And I want to dispel that to you. He is not a moron. He is not so doddering that he can't figure out what he's doing. It's worse. This administration knows exactly what they're doing. This administration picked up exactly where the Obama-Biden administration left off. They know what they're doing. They're globalizing away American exceptionalism. They're globalizing away or passing away the baton of leadership that made America the leader of free people everywhere in the world. I'm a godfather to a Ukrainian first-generation American. As an Orthodox Christian, I was selected because there aren't a lot of us, and for Eastern Orthodox, you got to find one to be godfather. On Tuesday night, I wasn't sure I was going to go to the State of the Union, but I know I have to be there. I have to be there with a Ukrainian flag. I have to be there to stand in solidarity to free people. One advantage of having been a soldier under Jimmy Carter is I also was a captain under Ronald Reagan. I will tell you, we know the policies that, and on this stage last night, President Trump said it very well. It's no accident that up until he came in, we had given away pieces of freedom around the world, and during his 4 years, we lost none. And now, in just 1 year, we've lost it again. Why Crimea disappeared under a previous administration, and then other parts disappeared under Obama-Biden, and now we, of course, are losing Ukraine over the brave fighting of the Ukrainian people. The fact is, Ronald Reagan summarized it better than anyone else, and all of us have to understand our conservative views on foreign policy. We seek no war. But like Ronald Reagan knew and said, in his lifetime there had been 4 great wars. None of them were caused by America being too strong. All of them were caused by the enemies of freedom thinking we were weak enough that they could challenge us. Peace through strength is the only policy that has worked in our lifetime. President Trump was correct when he said he would not seek or start wars and he would end them. And others in both parties have been less able to see that. But Reagan started no wars, unless you include rescuing some kids in Grenada. He ended the whole idea that you could start a war against the United States and win. We need to return to that. We also need to return to a foreign policy that doesn't say, if you take a country, we will fine you for a time. Because what's a sanction? It's just a fine. Now, look, I'm not a football player or a hockey player, but I know one thing. If all you have is a fine or a timeout, it's a question of how many fouls you will commit in order to win the game. That is what Putin has studied and is doing. We must create a situation in which you are out of the game, like Saddam was. You are out of the game if you violate that. Now, that threat requires all of us as Americans to look dead in the eye of our enemies and say, we are never so war-weary that we will let a free people like the people of Ukraine or the people of Taiwan be swallowed up by a dictatorship. It is only that resolution that will make sure we do not have to do it. China will not invade Taiwan if they know the price they pay will be the price of ultimate defeat of their leadership and their country and their control of the vast country of China. Putin will only stop his aggression, and he has not stopped. He is still going and will continue to go. His aggression will only stop when we make it clear that if he does not back off, he will lose power. I want to be respectful of the time, so I want you to take just one thing with you out of here today. This completely failed foreign policy around the world. Go out and tell people, we know it's not an accident. You cannot make that many accidents by accident. You can only do what he is doing deliberately. He is reversing the tradition of Reagan and Trump that made America respected around the world, made us free, and helped us free the rest of the world. Thank you, and God bless.